All right, here comes section 3. Let's talk about natural gas a little bit here. So, moving on to the next fossil fuel. So natural gas, you guys mainly see it in reference to like burners at your house or furnaces. It can be compressed and changed into propane-based compounds. So you might have a propane tank at your house potentially too. If you look around, you'll see that there are different places like gasification factories and things like that that you'll see in certain locations around the countryside. In Wyoming, there are several, and then in some cases, natural gas can be shipped around, and that's what these big tankers are. We don't see these as much, but nonetheless, these are all examples of natural gas. So what is natural gas? Well, it's mostly methane. So methane is the simplest of the organic gases. It has 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens in it, and it is usually found, natural gas is usually found alongside oil. So it's the top cap of an oil reserve is where natural gas is found, but it can be found other places. Down inside coal seams, in the coal seams, dissolved in the water in coal seams, you can find it. It's in permafrost, it's in the deep oceans, so there's other locations we find natural gas. Again, this is the methane piece over here, but then there are other gases present like ethane, propane, and butane. And so it's truly a combination of all those, but 95% plus of it is methane. So, who's got some natural gas? What's going down with that? Well, these 3 countries right here, Russia, Iran, and Qatar, all have about 75% of all of the world's natural gas. And that's enough for 62 to 125 years worth of natural gas usage. You'll see that Russia has the largest proportion by themselves. They have over 1/3 of the natural gas on the planet. The United States only has 4%, relatively speaking. We have enough to make some things happen, but not nearly as much as the other people on the planet do. And natural gas is in pretty high abundance, like relative to oil and things of that nature. In addition to just burning it for transportation and other uses such as that, you can also produce electricity with it. And the generation system for natural gas to produce electricity actually enables the system to produce 2 levels, or twice as much electricity as burning of other substances. There is both a gas turbine cycle and a steam turbine cycle. And what happens is you basically have a compressor that sucks in air and mixes it with fuel and burns the natural gas. That burning of natural gas creates this hot exhaust that comes through this system right here. As it comes through here, it turns this turbine, which turns the generator and makes electricity. That then hot combusted gas comes down in here and it interacts with pipes carrying water. As the water gets heated up, it turns into steam, which then gets pushed through and turns a steam turbine, which generates electricity again. So we have 2 sets of electricity production when we use natural gas production, which is nice. Natural gas is all over our country and piped all over. This map right here shows in the United States where the major natural gas lines run, and you see that they crisscross our country quite a bit. And natural gas comes in 2 major flavors: liquefied petroleum gas, which is called LPG. This is propane for rural areas. So that picture right there with the propane tank is an example of that. And then there's liquefied natural gas, or LNG. This is gas that you then compress, convert, and this is what they're taking out onto ships and moving around the world. So when we burn natural gas, conventional natural gas, what are some of the benefits and drawbacks of that? Well, here they are listed out for you. So there's lots of it available. It gives you a high energy yield. It doesn't cost very much. It's not very polluting versus oil or coal. It doesn't have as much CO2 emissions. It's easy to transport through pipelines. It doesn't affect the land very much. And it is a good fuel for lots of different diverse things. So those are all benefits to it. Some drawbacks though: still a non-renewable resource. It still emits CO2 in the atmosphere. It's government subsidized, which usually results in overusage. There are environmental costs that are not part of the equation for handling the burning of these stuff. Methane by itself is also a nasty greenhouse gas, much nastier than CO2 is. And so leaky pipelines and stuff create issues along those lines. And then it's very difficult to move from one country to another. We saw the ships attempting to do it, but it doesn't happen very often. And so it can only be shipped across in those big tankers with those big tanks, and those bad boys are extremely explosive, which is not always a good thing. So that's the end of that section. Peace, love, bye.